He's just a good old boy who loves burning rubber and driving fast.
Nope, not the Memphis International Airport. We're in the Atlanta airport. I think it's coming up on midnight. I purchased a blanket. I purchased a neck pillow. Chipotle, snacks, Mountain Dew. Ooh, very important. Wall charger. Why am I doing all that? You want to know where my hotel, well, not my hotel, you want to know where my bed is tonight? Right there. Yep. I even got my shoes off, and I think that's the nastiest thing. When I see somebody do that on the airplane, don't take your shoes off on the airplane, people. This carpet's nasty. I'm stuck here for the night. Lots of rain, lots of storms in the Memphis area have been going on all week. A lot of people, a lot of bad things with all those storms, and they have stretched out a long ways. For me, having to spend the night in the airport, not that big a deal, to be honest with you. Is it frustrating? Yes. Am I going to sleep good? Probably not. Will I sleep at all? Who knows? But all the things that people are going through from these storms, hate that for everybody. You know, it's like Mother Nature is clearing her throat at the moment through the Mid-South area. I know Wednesday night, those storms stretched from like Dallas all the way into Michigan, and it hadn't stopped. The amount of rain, the tornadoes, feel bad for everybody that's affecting. It's affecting me just this much. So I'll lose a few hours of sleep. Hopefully, get home tomorrow. I tried to rent a car. I know a lot of y'all are thinking that. It's only 6.5 hour drive. None available. So I suspect everybody earlier in the day was planning on doing or did the same thing I was thinking. The moment I heard this flight was canceled, immediately on the phone trying to book a car. None there. Well, I'm gonna try to catch some sleep, catch up on some YouTube. I've been doing some editing. Y'all will see that. All right. We'll go from here. Good morning. Not the greatest night of sleep ever, but I hope it's the only time I gotta stay here this week. I think it's 6 a.m. Let's go find out if we get to go home today. Hey, look at that! We are back! Memphis International Airport. I am going to be truthful. I'm dragging today, not drag racing. I'm tired. Sleeping on a bench in the Atlanta airport. I do not recommend that. Room service was horrible. The blankets were not good. The pillow was the worst. Anyway, we made it back. Let's get to the house and see what's happening. What's up, everybody? Home from the Atlanta airport. Whew, thank goodness. That was a long night. Spent the last little bit moving stuff out of the shop. While I was gone, the middle part of the country obviously dealing with lots of storms, lots of stuff. And my wife, who's I don't want to say a bad word, but she's bad to the bone, shuffled everything she could inside because hailstorms, etc. Have the dually in here, Polaris Razor, just different stuff to be prepared as best she could for storms. So I'm only home for a day or so, then we head out again. It is what we do, but I have to get Dentley back closer to ready to go. When I am home, I try to take the opportunities and get as much done as I can so that when there are times I'm home and I can go to the racetrack, it's ready to go. Man, last time we had it out, it was good. We're getting closer and closer to what should be a low 10.0, maybe high 9-second quarter mile run. I have, in one of the previous videos, we put our 370 Moser Engineering gear into Baby D, our 6-speed Hemi Dakota. We have another Moser Engineering box right there that's got the gear, the 9-inch forward center section, Moser Engineering, all aluminum center section. We're going to try to get that back into Dentley today. And then I'll show you, we got some other things that will prevent me from just taking it out, but I'm going to show you all those as well. So let me do a little cleanup. My table's a mess. Viper carts are good. Got something else to show you over there. And then we'll go to work. Straighten up, work, make a mess, straighten up again. That's what we do out here. Thank you guys for being here. I guess I should have shown y'all that. The Moser center section, before we get to that, they have these nice crates. It just fits right in there. It's awesome. So here is our aluminum big pinion center section out of Dentley. This thing's super strong. Got bolts here in the front that are not, our nodular 9-inch did not. It appears as they put a new gear in it. I really need to ask them because we were hearing some noise and we just thought, well, we'll send it back. And that's what we did. Center section, it has a spool in it, which obviously axle goes in each side and is solid in the center. So you have 2-wheel peel all the time. Not the greatest idea for driving down the road, but really good for the drag strip. And this vehicle, multi-purpose. Now, we're going to just clean the surface up. It is clean, but we're going to make sure it's dry. Get pumped up, pick it up and put it in there. If I remember right, this one weighed 60 pounds. The nodular iron in Baby D was 80. So let's go to work. Well, let's just get into it. I'm not really prepared to get into it, but I'm up here doing some measuring and checking. Been on the phone with my friends at Penske Racing Shocks. We're doing some work on the front. We think we don't have enough travel up here. So, with the truck exactly how we ran it last, if you jack it up, I had a mark on the front bumper I used. It had 6 inches of upward travel, and then the front tires were off the ground. So what I've done, I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to raise the truck up and show you what I've got done so far. Then we'll talk more about what I'm doing up here. Let's raise her up. So, I didn't raise her up very high. I took off the front sway bar. It's freaking huge and heavy. I really need to weigh it. Obviously, taking the front sway bar off, the truck will not drive as good going down the road, but I think it will increase the amount of upward travel we have. So in doing so, I've got the front shocks off and sent to Penske, and now I'm doing some measuring and checking, because when they come back, they'll have a remote reservoir, whatever it is. So I'm trying to figure out where it's going to go. And I'm probably going to get just a basic idea of how much travel we have now with the front sway bar off. But I can assure you it's a lot more. Before I can do that though, I got to get our center section put in the back, and I got sidetracked because I got on the phone with Jerry at Penske. I FaceTime with him, and I'm trying to figure out how long a hose I need going to our remote reservoir. And I got to get him that, and then I'm going to put the center section in. But I had to tell y'all about this. Back to work. I know I've shown y'all this before, but with the wheels, brake rotors out of the way, you can really see this thing. We were talking about reservoirs, so here's our rear Penske shocks. This is a reservoir, and on the front, they're going to make this remote, so it'll have a hose coming off of it. And that's what I was up there figuring out how long a hose we needed. Standard 4-link. So when Jeff and Jeffrey did this, they boxed this all in to attach to the stock frame here. So there's the stock frame. Then they went over, built this box to go over and attach to our quarter max back half. So this piece here all came from quarter max with the 4-link brackets, and we sent them the Moser Engineering 9-inch, and they put all this together. So when it showed up at Jeff's, this was years ago, they attached all of this to the back of Dentley. And it's pretty cool. It's like a real race car back here, even though she's a big old fat truck. We've got giant metal tubs in the back, and then I put a mud flap on here because it was throwing rocks and filling up the freaking roll pan. But just wanted to show y'all around a little bit. Back of Dentley, got a dynamic driveline drive shaft in it, and it's a long one. So there's kind of a quick look. Dentley, Willwood brakes on the back. This is purely procrastination because I'm not looking forward to bench pressing the center section. But it ain't gonna get done sitting here running my mouth. So let's get a center section put in. Whew, let's go. Oh yeah, she's heavy. Be a man. You can do it. And you did. That's what I'm talking about. That's it. Yes. Yes. Oh, they're always a little tight and scrunchy going in. But we're up there. We are up there. Need a rubber mallet. Don't fall out. Don't fall. My help showed up right after I picked it up.
Well, I showed up a little late. He did all the hard work.
I did the muscle head work. What are we doing right here? What is that all about?
Well,
It's kicking our butt.
yeah, we've been adjusting on that speed sensor there, and it's finicky. But
Well, I think we discovered something though. Our collar, this collar right here, has got 2 bolts. And we had it further up on here. I don't think it was rolling around there round, because that's
no, I don't.
a little crooked. Maybe will be a little better now. Hopefully, because our drive shaft sensor has not been working correctly. It worked when we drove it down the road, but it don't work under throttle. So we about got that. You got a set of cap on there. It's like a crank trigger, actually.
Yeah,
Same
right,
thing.
exactly.
Same thing's a crank trigger.
Yeah,
Now, all we got to do, drive shaft, went and got some new, what do we call them things? I know what the proper name is now. These things?
Oh, the U-bolts.
U-bolts, drive shaft straps.
Strap,
Drive shaft straps. Got some new ones we're going to stick in there. All right, so I'll let JC sneak out of here without doing a wrap up on the wrap up, but I'm going to tell you that we did something that it's hitting my OCD really bad. But before we get to that, let me show you under Dentley here. So you can see we got the wishbone back in, bolts there, there and there on the bottom 4-link bar, keeps the rear end from moving this way. We got our fresh center section in from Moser Engineering. We got our speed sensor back on, our 4 magnet. We got it set at 50 thousandths, our 4 magnet. This thing has been giving us issues, and hopefully we got it set a little better. We'll find out. Obviously, everything's back in. So Dentley is done in the back. All right, so now if you're wondering, what is my OCD kicking me on? I did this. I would love to blame JC. See where that valve stem is? Kind of pointing up that way. I even have a mark right there on the tire. And again, I did this. It's what happens when you're in a hurry. Look where that one is. It's down this way. I know it's no big deal, but I like the valve stems, if they're both, one's on the bottom, the other should be on the bottom. I completely got them going the opposite way. That's bugging me. I'm gonna tell the truth. At this very moment, I'm going to leave that. So now, I know a lot of y'all get mad when I walk and talk. I am sorry. I can't help it. When I'm talking, I'm walking. It's just one of those things. So the only thing preventing me from taking Dentley on a cruise is the front shocks are at Penske. Front shocks are off at the moment. We are working on, we ain't doing nothing. Jerry at Penske is working on making it where we have some more front end travel. I think I've already talked about having the front sway bar off. Look how much room, how far, I guess droop you would call it, how far the front tire's falling out. What else was I going to tell y'all about? I am thinking about the things that need to be done with no idea when I'm gonna be able to take Dentley back to the racetrack. But I'm excited to do that because I want to see if more front end travel will allow us to leave harder. Oh, I know what I was going to do. I'm going to weigh that sway bar. Let's see what that thing weighs. Let me grab a scale. All right, all I'm doing is balancing with one finger, balancing this sway bar. It weighs about 34 pounds. We're putting Dentley on a diet. Between our Go Lithium batteries, we save like 30 something pounds there, 34 pounds here. Shoot, I might can eat a cheeseburger. I really want to go burn some rubber, but I can't do it in Dentley. That's sitting there with our 370 gear. I did not film this, but I'm gonna tell y'all, I found some issues with Baby D. I'm a duck walk under the old bin pack here. I think I showed this. Look at the wear on our U-joint strap. So I ordered some new ones and I put them in there. So I think what's happening, if you go way back, you'll find when I did the lowering kit on Baby D, and it gave me crap issues. When I did everything that was sent with the kit, it had the Carolina squat going. But now, I think the problem is the leaf springs are junk. This thing, from the lowering kit, the drive shaft is obviously touching those, probably under hard acceleration. Not that I ever do that. And she's a little bouncy, and it's got fresh shocks on it. I think the leaves have leafed out of the building. I need to order some. All right, completely rambling. Thinking about changing that tire, but I'm trying to resist that temptation. But I got a couple other things. I got a little power steering leak. I'm gonna look at that right quick and see what else we can get into. I looked at the leak on the power steering. I think I've got the wrong hose on, not the high side, the pressure side, but on the return side, the hose is real squishy. I think it's the wrong, probably a heater hose. It needs to be something, I don't know. Anyway, so what I've done, put gently down on the ground. I've resisted so far fixing them valve stems, what I was talking about. But this thing, I found an issue. Heard a rattling. Well, let me rephrase that. Donna heard a rattling, and she's like, sounds like the front tire's about to fall off this thing. You know, I wanted her to kind of check out how much different this thing is with the 370. She's always kind of thought it was a little race car-ish with that 430 gear in it. A little bucky, I guess you would say, you know, just whatever. So, my hearing's not that good. Y'all probably may or may not know that. I can't imagine why. I do wear hearing protection. I see that all the time. I've done it forever. But 26, 27 years of nitro. Anyway, all that aside. So, we took a little test drive. I backed it right back in here. Got under the back. I thought maybe from putting the center section in, something was loose, you know, whatever. All right, all that aside. Here is what I found. That's a problem. So, let's dig into it and see what we got. Before I dig in, I'm going to tell y'all that when I got this thing, the bolts that hold the caliper on, or the pins, whatever they're called, were stripped out. I put helicoils in there. I'm going to assume it's pulled the helicoils out. Knowing that, I ordered a time cert kit because I've dealt with this already with this truck. I ordered new brake pins, bolts, whatever these things are. That's what holds the caliper on. And a time cert kit. A time cert, if you don't know, thread cert is this. It's basically, I think this particular one's a stainless steel one. So you tap the hole out to this size, and then your bolt goes inside of that. In my opinion, this is way better than a helicoil. Helicoil works in great situations where they're, you know, needed, but brake caliper, don't always believe Google and put a helicoil in. It held up for a lot of miles. I shouldn't say anything. I'm just hoping that when I put the helicoil in, it's not a larger outside diameter than this is. Let me get this thing off. I'll show you what I find. We'll go from there. Yep, kind of what I thought. The helicoils had uncoiled, and the bottom bolt pin was gone. Fixing to see if our tap for the helicoils is correct, and see if we can get a thread cert in this thing. And hopefully that's a more permanent situation. Y'all ever seen these nice, awesome headers on Baby D? Pretty nice. That's why this thing sounds good. All right, I'm sidetracked. Back to making this thing. I'm worried about going, and I need to be worried about woeing. Okay, I have counterbored with the little tool that came with our kit. You might notice the threads are still in there. The drill bit that come with our time cert kit, really close. I'm worried it may be a little too big, but I'm fixing to try to tap that hole and see if it makes threads. That's the hope. Could be that the helicoil size was too big for the time cert size, but we'll find out. The tap may just go in there. I hadn't tried it yet. We'll find out. See what happens. One down. You can see that that thread cert, which is this, is now in that hole. And I hope the threads were, man, not perfect. It was almost like an SAE thread to a metric thread. But you can see I got the tap in here, and it's cutting threads out. I don't know if you can really see it, but it's knocking some shards out of there. Bam! New threads. Not completely 100% sure this is all going to work because it's making threads, but I feel like they may not be deep as they need to be. So when I torque the brake pins in there, we'll find out. Stay tuned. Got them both in there. Now my worry is, if you notice where I counterbored it, I hope I didn't counterbore that too much, and our brake pins don't have enough thread engagement. So let's find that out. Bolts are in, both of them. Bolts, pins, sliders, whatever it is you want to call them. Tighten them pretty tight. I did do the red thread Loctite on the insert itself. Felt like it's going to be okay. We shall find out. Don't want to have problems with your brakes. I'll have to have Donna ride with me after I put some miles on it. So somebody with better hearing can tell me if it's all good or not. So the next thing on the agenda, this is definitely DIY, do-it-yourself, DIY kind of day here. Already told you, Dentley's down. I got something I got to do to it. Got this done. Both center sections complete. I did not rotate the tires to line up the valve stems. That's still bugging me. We're making progress. It's a good day. I hope you're having a good day. Upon further evaluation of this situation, now I know why these things break. So I'm trying to figure out how to hold this to show you. So the pins, bolts, pins, go in here, and the caliper floats. I mean, I know that rotor won't cock like that when the wheel's on it, but if you think about it, probably puts those things at a weird angle and pops the threads out. But we got baby D ready to put the wheel back on and go see what it feels like if the thing is quiet now. Again, probably got to get Donna to ride with me to do that, but let's go see. Well, let's go give her a test, see what I can hear. Again, may have to have Donna come ride in it. Let's go. Well, so far so good. Even got our speedometer dialed in. I checked that with the phone app. We are good. I hear no rattles. Yes, I see the crack in the window. It goes all the way across. At some point, she'll need a new one. Well, rat dog, I think baby D is good. At least until the threads fall out and the caliper tries to come off. What do you think, Millie? What do you think, Rat Dog? I also think that the 370 gear gives a second gear Burnout a little more wheel speed. Couldn't resist. I know I need to quit doing that after seeing what those drive shaft U-bolts, straps, whatever you want to call them, what they looked like, because I'm pretty sure the springs are touching the drive shaft, rubbing those straps. Sooner or later, I'm gonna throw the drive shaft out of that thing doing that. But pretty good. Gently sitting on the ground. Rear end's in. Obviously the rear end's in. Baby D, thanks to Moser Engineering for all that. Brake caliper fixed. Should be good to go. What you think, Millie? Should be good to go for a little bit. I want to thank you guys for watching, liking, subscribing, and sharing. See you in the next one. Don't know what it'll be, but I appreciate you watching. See ya.